Greetings, this is English News Broadcast live from the ERi-TV headquarters in Asmara. It's 10:30 p.m. Thursday, December 9. I'm the reporter Mira Johannes with your daily updates, and here's a rundown of the top stories for tonight's news segment. Announcement from the Ministry of Health. Resolve to strengthen participation in national affairs. China says Australia, UK and US will pay price for Winter Olympics action. Amazon hit with $1.28 Italy fine. And now we proceed to the details for the local news. We have an announcement from the Ministry of Health. 50 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today at quarantine centers and testing stations in the central, southern, and Ansaba regions. Out of these, 30 patients are from quarantine centers, 13, and testing stations 17 in Asmara Central Region. 13 patients are from testing stations in Mandafara 7, San'afa 4, Amhara 1, and Maiduma 1, Southern Region. 7 patients are from testing stations in Hamil Malo 5, Aditekelezan 1, and Hagaz 1, Ansaba Region. On the other hand, 27 patients who have been receiving medical treatment in hospitals in the Central Region 24, Gashbarka Region 2, and Southern Region 1 have fully recovered and have been discharged from these facilities. The total number of recovered patients has accordingly increased to 7,349, while the number of deaths stands at 62. The total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 7,583. Ministry of Health, Asmara, December 9, 2021. At a seminar conducted on December 5, Eritrean nationals in Germany expressed readiness to strengthen participation in the national development programs. At the virtual seminar that was organized by the Eritrean National Committee, Mr. Kibr Abtaghaste, Consul General of Eritrea, gave extensive briefing on the objective situation in the homeland in terms of regional developments. The briefing by Mr. Kibr Ab was focused on the role of Eritrean nationals in the political, security, media, and diplomatic activities, the effort being exerted to ensure social justice, and the substantial investment being made to develop human resources, and the achievement registered, as well as the unwarranted external hostilities against Eritrea. Mr. Kibrab also called on the nationals to strengthen organizational capacity and participation in the national affairs. Mr. Medhani Tasalem, head of community organization of the Eritrean National Committee, presented plan of action of the committee. At the seminar, an agreement was reached that every national starting from January 2021 to raise €200 and more to the effort to fight the illegal and unilateral sanctions imposed on Eritrea. At an activity assessment meeting conducted on December 8, Ambassador Zameda Takhla, Commissioner of Culture and Sports, called for giving due attention of sports activity beyond domestic and regional competitions, indicating that the sources of sports development are schools and sports federations. Ambassador Zameda called for identifying strengths and shortcomings and work for better outcome. At the activity assessment meeting organized by the Culture and Sports Department in the Central Region, and in which representatives of 13 federations, heads of sports in the subzones and clubs, as well as invited guests, took part, report was presented focusing on the participation of Eritrean athletes in the national, regional, and global competitions and victories registered. The participants on their part conducted extensive discussion of the report presented and adopted various recommendations. Mr. Indirias Asmaram, head of the Culture and Sports Department in the Central Region, on his part called on all concerned institutions and federations to conduct relentless effort for the development of sports. Stay with us. We'll be right back with the international news after this short break. Welcome back. China has said that Australia, Britain, and the US will pay a price for their mistaken acts after deciding not to send government delegations to the Winter Olympics in Beijing in February, in the latest warning demonstrating China's escalating diplomatic tensions with the US and its major allies. The US was the first to announce a boycott, saying on Monday its government officials would not attend the February Games because of China's human rights atrocities, weeks after talks aimed at easing tensions between the world's two largest economies. The Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison said earlier that Canberra's decisions not to send officials to the Games was made because of its struggles to reopen diplomatic channels with China to discuss human rights in the far western region of Xinjiang and China's moves to block Australian imports. On Wednesday, the U.S. House of Representatives passed legislation to ban imports from Xinjiang over concern about forced labor, one of three measures backed overwhelmingly as Washington pushes back against Beijing's treatment of the Uighur community. Italy has fined Amazon $1.28 billion for alleged abuse of its market dominance. It's so far one of the biggest ever penalties imposed on a U.S. tech giant in Europe. The country's antitrust watchdog said Amazon had hurt competing operators in the e-commerce logistics market. It accused the firm of abusing its dominant position in the Italian market to help sellers using its logistics service over other rivals. The U.S. giant was alleged to have given those sellers priority when customers searched for a product. The competition authority said it would also impose corrective steps on Amazon that will be subject to review by a monitoring trustee. Amazon said it strongly disagreed with the decision and called it unjustified and disproportionate. It is not the first time Italy has punished Amazon this year. In November, it and Apple were hit with a $225 million fine for alleged anti-competitive cooperation in the sale of Apple and Beats products. Australia's firefighters continued to battle raging bushfires in Margaret River yesterday, as seen in videos and photos provided by Western Australia's Department of Fire and Emergency Services, DFES. Local media reported that an emergency warning was raised yesterday, while deteriorating weather conditions were expected to test fire containment lines. The fire, which has burned through almost 1,200 hectares, started in Borenup, almost 300 kilometers south of Perth. It was reported that more than 100 firefighters were activated to battle the blaze and that an evacuation center has been set up at Margaret River Recreation Center. Following is a recap of tonight's major headlines. Announcement from the Ministry of Health. Resolve to strengthen participation in national affairs. China says Australia, UK and US will pay price for Winter Olympics action. Amazon hit with $1.28 Italy fine. That's all from us for now. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. Ay.